Hi everyone. I have two cameras in front of me. One for my YouTube channel at Michelle Cow, and I've been not as active on my YouTube video, but I am committing to be very active now, moving forward. So I will post a lot of video that are technique, that are information, color cutting, stylings, overall, and I'm going to share with you all the secrets of everything I do, everything that I know, and I hope that will help you for your career. In front of me is a video, is a camera that I am posting on a YouTube, which is in the horizontal. On my right hand side is I am gonna go to post that on the ITTV on Instagram for a couple minutes. So if you are following me on Instagram, please subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can have more detail, because every technique about hair, especially color, you need that timing. ITTV is only allowed to be a 10 minutes. So I appreciate that you following and support. And in the meantime, I am excited to start a new venture. So I'm not only active on social media, I am not only participating with a roadshow on Facebook Live for a group of talented stylists to sharing the knowledge. I am committing to produce a lot of videos, a lot of breakdown step-by-step procedures and techniques. So I hope that you enjoy. Today I am preparing for one of my teaching in June. So I have one of my doorhead here. Let's just say her name is Linda. So Linda is here with me. You can see my subsection for her head. I mean, she have a very short hair. It's a bob cut that I was teaching. So I'm using that. I have another doe head or two more doe head, so I will show you more step by step as well. Now the foundation of any beautiful foil work or any work is the organize, how you well organize your subsection. You have to start with a very organized and pristine work to build that to the top. I am, however, do foil work very fast. At the same time, I train to use bleach technique that are very much in the newer way compared with the traditional way. Traditional way, we learn or we train to start from the lower bleach and developer from the nape up to the front, and by the time when you go to the front, for example, if that a full head of foil, full highlight or color correction and so on, you wanna use the highest volume or developer on the front. So I found that it's not help with the integrity of the hair. The newer way I'm starting is I actually start from the both sides first with the lowest developer. So I'm starting on my right hand side on the side first. Then I am going to both sides here with the lowest developer. And I'm gonna go to the forehead section here with a little bit higher. With Aveda, I am going to use enlightener with double developer, 1:2 ratio. So let's say if I am going to do 40 grams of enlightener, I am going to do 80 grams of 5 volume cream developer or Cantonese, color Cantonese for both sides. Now when I'm come up here, now depending on how much her hair and how fast I am doing, I might do 7.5 volume here or 10 volume here. In general, I have a lot of clients that come to me with this kind of foil work technique. That could be from really dark hair and want to have a platinum ash blonde, or could be a gray coverage, but now she been wearing her gray coverage for a very long time. She really want to try to see if she can wear her natural gray hair. So I have a lot of clients like that. Or it's a transformation wearing pastel color, very modern, very fashion forward. A service like this would take me about 6 to 7 hours in one setting. So client can come to me, maybe a cut first, separate day, and then I detail the cut to be perfect. The second time coming back, it takes me 5 to 6 hours, plus taking picture before and after, will give me about 7 hours. I will charge the client based on my time. So it just depends on how complex it is, how many tones I need. I will charge her approximately about $1,400 to $2,000 for one sitting, about 6 to 7 hours. So that is something that most of the time, we wonder realistically how much time we want to invest and how much time the client want to invest time and money to that hair. Now keep in mind that since you do this kind of technique, it looks easy, but it's not really easy. You really have to make sure that how your foil work gonna be organized and how every foil gonna be even tone. I am using Aveda enlightener and I am using Aveda developer with 1:2 ratio in this bowl. So you can see it's very creamy, yogurty texture. I start with that, and for me, foil work for me is how you discipline, how you start strong, but you finish stronger. I start with my first foil above the ear. I'm gonna use the Rojo hair clip here. And weaving technique, it can be challenge at times. The first foil, I will bend it, and if you want to get this foil really close to the scalp, you want to a little bit over direction. And yes, client can turn her head a little bit away. This doll head is I was on the training class with one of the master educator with Aveda. His name is Ian Michael Black a while ago. And I cut them to be bob on my bob class. It's a very, very thin. If you want to form level 2, level 3 hair, and you want to lift that to level 9 or 10, you make sure that it would be very thin, right? And you can see my subsection is pretty much not really too wide. So it's gonna be always in the center, it's very even. As you can see, when I am coming from the bottom up, I when I place the foil, I don't necessarily always have to put them um, in the tail of my comb. I sometimes just place them nicely and gently here. So it's all about your hand of your control. Yeah. Body position is another thing. Is very important. You don't want her to be too high up, and you don't want her to be too low. Now, because I am showing your technique, and also I am going to use this dough head as my, I'm going to use this dough head as my, finishing. So you can see that I would fold each foil nicely, but reality, when I am with client, I actually only fold them on one side to keep them in place, and then after I finish one subsection, I would fold them together. So it saves you a lot of time. Now, sometimes it's much easier to just put them everything together, and you don't have to weave them. But I felt that if you want to do a little weave, very thin, it actually gives that hair that dimension and that look much natural when it grows out. I call this as a color correction. Uh, Most of color correction that I have to remove the existing color. It can be brunette, can be blonde. I use this technique a lot. It's not only safe on the scalp, but then it's safe on the hair as well. So sometimes it takes me maybe 1 or 2 with this kind of technique, most of the time I was standing for whole head foils about 3 hours straight up. It may be no break in between. So I mean, this is a service that require um, very disciplined. It's not as it might sound easy as far as you can just put the foil and put the bleach, but it's when you start it, you have to you start strong, you have to finish stronger. And the first 1 or 2 hours you might feel okay, you might feel, oh yeah, I can do it. But this kind of service, it's like I said earlier, it's required 6 or 7 hours total in one sitting, and you might get tired. So as you can see why I am starting in the front. So when I'm starting in the front, it's not only because the hairs are much more finer, and so you start with lower developer, but it's also there's a couple of benefit. Is it get more blonder here, that is easy on the tone, and also it keep the integrity of the hair. Second, you start with the most visible area that the client can see. So so that by the time you tired, which is very normal, for 3 or 4 hours later, it doesn't affect much of your overall work. I understand that from the start to the finish, you will do everything gonna be exactly the same, as consistent as possible, what will we say. However, if you finish here is beautiful, you get tired, you might be a little bit sloppy, but that's gonna be the nape area. So it doesn't show, it doesn't turn the whole result off, right? So that's another benefit. That's a reason why, because we want to showcase our work here, because that's how our client will see it. She have a little yellow hair here, so it's very hard to see it on the silver foil. So today is my first day after for a very long time to come back and post on YouTube. I am a very beginner on YouTube, so if you have any feedback for me, I would love to hear your feedback. I also have Instagram, is at About Michelle Cao. So if you have any questions or feedback from me, feel free to contact me. Today I am showing you the whole head foil technique and how organized and how I'm gonna starting and finishing. Tomorrow I will do more of foilayard technique and framing technique. So you have to stay tuned for more technique. Of course, you can always reach out to me, like I say, on Instagram, so that if any other technique that you would want to watch more, I would love to accommodate immediately. Now, talk about, when you have a YouTube video, um, I am not, like I say, I'm not excellent on YouTube yet. So, it's not, I might do live YouTube so that you can, so that people can have a comment and I can answer a question. But that's why now, since we don't have any question, because I'm on a camera, in front of a camera, and Linda here is not, she's a good client, she's not talking. Now I'm gonna turn her head a little bit, tilt a little bit this way. I am not having wearing heel or anything. I am just sit on the floor with my bare feet because I wore heel this morning. Today our salon is still closed during the COVID-19. So I am doing a little bit of additional training here. Body position is a very important, as you can see. You might not able to see, but I am standing at her as a center of where I am standing, and I am a squat down if I need to. You might notice that my hair clip, I don't take it off and put them on a tray. The hair clip gonna stick and place it on the hair, so it will save you a lot of time. I'll go back and forth. I love foil. I love doing foil. I don't know, we all want to see the beautiful result, but without the beautiful foil work and how organized and how makes sense it will be, the final result and the longevity of your work will compromise. So for me, clients that come back to just get the tone because the hair will last so long and it's not wrinkle hair, that would be my priority. Some clients are actually not weaving at all. I use similar technique, the foil, but I am not weaving at all. So this is called baby weave. So you left the hair outside very tiny. My advice for everyone that are starting their career is, when you see hair that are transformation from dark to platinum, realistically, that's a lot of work involved. Not only technique, foil, tone, finishing products, taking pictures. There's a lot of things that are involving. So I am encourage you to practice from the beginning to the finish. Without a beautiful foundation for your work, that when you take off the foil, all the pleats gonna be even tone, and so then your tone will be much even and nice. And when you tone even and nice, you styling will be so much better. And don't forget to learn how to take great pictures. Great pictures require practice as well. And despite after all this done, the hairs after you finish with the finishing product, it might 5-6 hours that you already tired, but that you want to go home, the client want to go home, but if you can't do the picture before and after, you lost the opportunity to really evaluate your work in the future. Picture is not only for Instagram, only social media, and or showcase to the other client your work, but actually it's to self-evaluate your work as well. So for me, I look at back at the picture of my work in the past couple of years, and now I'm like, yeah, I learned so much, I gained so much knowledge. So for me, taking pictures is really a self-evaluate. Now I am approaching the top for my first subsection here. In general, with this whole head of foil in salon, real client, it would take me about an hour and a half to 2 foil, just foil it. Depend on client have a lot of hairs or not much of hair. But if the client have not much of hair and very thin hair, I generally don't do much of whole head foil. I do more in a partial. And so it would, so now I approach this area here, make it organized thing here. I'm gonna clip them here so it's nice and secure here for my now you can see I finished my first subsection here. Everything is nice and organized on one side. I am going to be doing on this side, so that is my left hand side. And now you can see in general I will turn her head away from the mirror. So first on this subsection she will facing, I'm right-handed, so she would facing the mirror and or facing this way to the mirror, and I'm standing right here. I am still standing exactly the same position that way I'm at, but she will move. She will look at somewhere else, right? So I'm gonna stay here. Now my bowl of bleach work is still have a half of it. And you can see how clean my brush and my foil. I only dip my brush in one side of my brush and on the sides of my bowl. So it's very organized so that all the bleach doesn't get into my finger. Especially when you dealing with bleach and develop a 30 and 40 volume, if you're not careful with your brush and you're not as clean with how you apply foil and bleach, you're gonna have that bleach on your finger and it's gonna create itchy on your finger. Now if you're a colorist and technician, like you would do a lot of this technique almost every day or 4 or 5 of this case a week, it will slowly eating your skin, and it's not really feel comfortable at all. So I am coming to my second subsection here. Same thing that I am doing from the first subsection. I start from the nape up. Now most of us, when we go to Kamatology schools, or we learn, some of us starting from the top down. Now the reason why we start from the bottom up is make it much more organized, and so your foil doesn't move around. Now the first one, remember, I will fold the foil a little bit, put them behind, inside the tail of my comb. I am going to be over direction my first piece, because the ear, on the ear, top of the ear area, you have to make sure that it will get closed, so it's secure, it doesn't move. It's very important to understand how, when we learn color and we start to do color, we really learn color, but we really don't learn how bleach work. I experienced a lot of hairstylists that are, everything they use is a 20 volume. Bleach is another. Learn how to work with bleach and master on bleach work is a very, very important. Understand that even when you don't overlift and tone down, you lift to where you want it to be, right? Now, if you don't want to see brassiness, of course you have to lift them to the level that are, you don't see that orange. You want to see more yellow or more pale yellow, so that the underlying pigment doesn't show after the tone. Think about the tone, it's not really cancel. I mean, when we say cancel, tone is actually, when you already bleach the hair, it doesn't matter how much tone, how many times that you tone the hair, you will see that tone fading. The client will experience that tone fade, and your bleach work will show. So get an even tone, even bleach work is very important. Beautiful foil, beautiful bleach work is beautiful result for clients. Being patient with this technique is another key. If you rush and you put the foil and the bleach, and you will see your work after you take the foil off. Now, if you take the hair in too thick, what happens is, if you not really master on your foil, your bleach technique yet, the top layer, the top it will be, you would have a pleat, but it's really not get underneath, so you will see the top a much more yellower, but the underneath it's gonna be still have some of the orange in there. So therefore your blonde would be very brassy. Learning to do color and learning to do blonde is another level. It takes me a while to really get an excellent or master in the blonde, because my own, I don't wear a lot of, I used to not wear a lot of blonde, and of course you have to be realistic with your client in terms of where is her natural level. You know, the client that natural level like me, that are typical level 2, level 3 with medium coarse hair, then if you want to do blonde, you have to bring me to level at least 8 or 9 in one time, and think about color 101, say that for the balloon give us 4 level of lip, yeah? That's in theory, depend on hair. I mean, fine hair, or medium hair, or coarse hair, or where is the level started. It might give us 3 to 4 level of lip, but what about your technique? Are you gonna put them in a very thin, paper thin foil, or you gonna be doing much thicker? Now, because you think that if you're doing thicker, it will give you faster result, faster finish, the whole head of foil. Yes, it may faster, but when you take off that foil, you would wish that you do it thinner, because you would not see the level that you want to tone. And because most of the time, you know that bleach is come with very white powder, right? What is white powder on hair? It will appear one level lighter. So when you check your foil, you might see, for example, you might see level 9, but it actually is only 8 or 7.5. So it's a very tricky. If you want to get level 9, so that you can tone her to be, let's say, ash blonde or beige blonde, you need to see level 10 when the bleach is on the foil. So when you wash it, you have 9. But when you apply low light, it's gonna be opposite. If you see 7, that means 6, because color gonna appear a little bit darker. So I always remind my stylist that bleach one level lighter. You always see one level lighter, because you want to see the 2 levels so you can create a tone correctly. You don't just bleach and then you just do the tone, right? I never tone before I wash the hair off, and I would see the hair clean without bleach, and I would create the tone. Of course, you have to train your eye to look at the level when it's a wet hair, right? When it's a wet hair, of course, it's gonna be look darker than when it's dry hair. So if I say, oh, she's level 9, sometimes my assistant, they might look at me, wonder like, what do you mean by she's level 9? She look like 8, right? Because we sometimes, or most of the time, we tone the hair at the shampoo bowl is the hairs that are not dry hair. So we have to train our eye to look at hair level in the different conditions of the hair. When it's dry hair, the level when it's wet hair. It's the same level but appear darker. So if the client look like blonde, as blonde, when you put her out to the chair before you blow dry her hair, she might not see that as light blonde. She might see, oh wow, it's a little bit too dark, right? And if it's the first time client, you have to make sure that she understands that the hairs are still wet. So we don't go home with wet hair. We don't wear with wet hair in general. We wear with dry hair. But yeah, I mean, it's some client would look at the mirror and just check their blonde and make sure. So I normally, my trick is always, I know exactly where she at, what I give her. So I'm always blow dry her on the front first. The front piece or the sides here, she look happy, show her so she can relax so I can finish my work. Instead of the traditional way, you would blow dry her here and then, yeah, she have to turn her head, she have to look at different direction to see her hair, and it's just give her that one shot right away, right? The front piece, give it to her. And she was like, oh yeah, it looks so pretty, I love the blonde. And yes, she said, yeah. So now she happy, she confident, you happy, you confident, and that you can finish your work. When she happy, she confident, it gives you that boost, that even you tired, you happy, so that you can take a pictures. And of course, some client actually I make them change to be different outfit, and or maybe touch up a little bit of makeup. So it would give them another 20 to 30 minutes of doing the pictures. Most of my client come to me that either transformation or the client that I wear hair that I can showcase. I'm very specific with what she should, or I suggest her to come in and wear. And so that when you taking pictures, it's look more professional. And of course, some client they try their best, but then overall you want to, because we want to post her pictures on either our Yep page or our social media, and it depends on your theme of your page. You want to have that cohesive of your theme, so every client would have some sort of clean look in terms of clothing, so that the center focus is more about her hair, not really focus on something else. For your technique, there is so many techniques. There is not one technique. I am showing you how I start and how I finish. However, most of clients that are come to me, I am combining so many different techniques. That it can be the balayage look, foilayage look, with face filming, some baby light, some highlight in between. There is so many techniques that I am combined on one particular client hair. So when client come and ask me, oh, I want a balayage, they book balayage or things like that, in general, I let them know that I don't do one technique in client. I use different techniques similar when you cutting hair. It's the result that we strive for. Let's just say, okay, I want to have a bob cut. Bob require texturize, requires some razor, requires some blunt cut, requires some graduation, all kind of technique to create that beautiful result. So client doesn't know, and that they don't know exactly the term to use. So you have to really explain to the client and educate them a little bit more. Just like for any other profession, I will not understand a lot of term and terminology that if I'm going to the car dealer, the body shop, or a doctor, I would rely on the people to explain to me what does that mean. I only know because I only know what in my industry, in what I train for. So most of the clients would not understand there's a difference between balayage and foilayage. Or some client would say, oh, I thought that was a balayage, you would do it this way, that way, because that's what I see on internet or on Instagram. You have to explain to client that to get that result, a balayage look with your hair, we're gonna have to use foil to generate heat. Or because or it could be your hairs are starting too dark, that to get that result we have to use foil. We can't, if we use open air like other, it will not bring you to that level. When I am folding foil, so you can see the width, when I'm folding them, I am make sure that it's fold them from the corner to the corner, so it's not too loose and not too tight. I hope that more video coming your way will help you to add more technique to your daily work. And I'm here if you ever need any explain or more detail, please reach out. Again, my Instagram is @aboutmichellecow. Okay, I'm gonna go to the front page here, so I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get this one close to the scarf. Okay, I'm gonna use this one as well, so my bleach doesn't move in. Okay, so now we finish two subsection here, as you can see on this side and that side. Now I am stay in the same position. I'm gonna turn her slightly facing me, and yes, she gonna be, her head gonna tilt down tiny bit. Now, I am going to have my 20 gram of enlightener and then 40 gram of tan volume developer that I'm gonna use this bowl. Sometime or most of the time when I'm in this kind of service in salon, I would have assistant. I would write down for them so that I train them how to mix, how to stir them, and I would do like bowl 1, bowl 2, and so on. So they kind of work on next to me and learn how to mix color, how to mix bleach. And they would give me the second bowl when I'm going to my second section. So I'm gonna do this one here. Now remember, I'm gonna over direction this piece so that that first piece is gonna be more closer to her scalp and it doesn't get loose. So thank you again. I am gonna post more video and subscribe me and follow me on Instagram. I will continuing post more on YouTube and on IGTV as well. So you take care, and we'll see you next time for the next class. Take care.